Thank you for stopping by. I'm your political activist, Jeffrey Weiss, working to keep you informed of local and world events. Today we discuss Jeff Sessions, a man with all the answers. Question for Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Were you lying when you told Congress you never met with Soviet officials? Or were you lying when you told Congress that while you did meet with Soviet officials, you never discussed a deal between your master Donald Trump and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak, who you met at least 2 times, and that estimate is now growing, last year? The question begs, what is the greater crime? Smoking and selling a joint of marijuana, or lying to Congress? Colluding with a foreign government to steal an American election? How about demand the maximum penalty for yourself, you bastard? Wanting to lock up young people for decades for nonviolent crimes, taking them away from the stability of their homes and families at a cost of $60,000 per year, which, by the way, could pay for a college education, which we, the taxpayer, will pay for. Let them rot in gulags worse than China. Stigmatize them. Brand them so they can never get a decent job, you son of a bitch. Sessions has been a racist since his college years. Hates blacks, hates drugs, hates drug users, hates criminals of all types, but exempts the kind of crimes he perpetuates. He wants to put them in prison for the maximum time allowed by law. I believe his hate makes him certifiably insane, and if he is interviewed by a competent psychologist, he will be institutionalized as a sociopath, a habitual liar, and a heartless bastard. Sessions prioritized drug cases of all sizes, taking on prosecutions typically left to state authorities and often meting out long federal sentences. According to an analysis by the Mobile Register, Sessions' policies helped Southern Alabama establish a federal drug conviction rate that was almost 4 times the national average. Sessions' tenure as U.S. Attorney for Southern Alabama displayed his willingness to put his thumb on the scales of justice in order to achieve his goals, sometimes through prosecutions that appeared politically motivated. Sessions' classroom. Born in Selma, Alabama in 1946, Sessions was raised in a small town. The majority African American area had long been a hotbed of voter suppression, where whites intimidated black sharecroppers and misreported their votes. The state's 1901 Constitution effectively disenfranchised African Americans through a combination of poll taxes, literary tests, property requirements, and screening for past offenses such as vagrancy. As the leader of the state's Constitutional Convention explained at the time, if we would have white supremacy, we must establish it by law, not by force or fraud. When Sessions attended the segregated Wilcox County High School, not a single African American in the county was registered to vote. By the 1970s, when Sessions moved to Mobile, not long after getting his law degree, the city became a stronghold of George Wallace, the state's segregationist Democratic governor. Whereas municipal governments in Alabama's other major cities integrated, it took the U.S. Supreme Court to bring black representation to Mobile City Council. The last recorded lynching in the United States took place in Mobile, Alabama in 1981, when the Ku Klux Klan kidnapped a 19-year-old African American named Michael Donald, slit his throat, and hung him from a camphor tree. Mobile has become a city of both old money aristocracy and white grievance populism, a sort of proto-Trumpism that explained why Donald Trump held one of his first mega rallies there in 2015, with Sessions at his side. Now Jeff Sessions owns every federal grand jury in America. Don't get indicted for anything, anywhere, at any time while Sessions is in office, an attorney who knew him said. In coming to Mobile, Sessions had retraced the steps of other ruler whites before him. In northern Alabama, where the acknowledged economy is centered on that Republican establishment, they never liked Jeff Sessions very much. Too many connections to race, to right-wing conservatism, to white evangelical rabble-rousers. Throughout his career, Sessions has employed the heavy hand of government in criminal prosecutions while not defending civil rights. In 1984, Sessions began investigating absentee ballots used by African Americans in 5 rural counties where black voters' influence was on the rise. He charged the organizers with mail and voter fraud for allegedly tampering with ballots. During the trial, his case fell apart and the jury found the 3 activists not guilty. Under orders from Sessions, some of the witnesses, elderly black voters, had to board buses in the presence of armed police and FBI officers, mere feet from where the state troopers had killed a protester 20 years earlier. Once in Mobile, the witnesses were photographed and fingerprinted. Several were so shaken by the process that they said they would never vote again. Another attorney said Sessions was trying to get people to be scared to say anything other than what law enforcement wanted them to say at the grand jury, and also to send a message out to the community and to get people to be afraid to stand up and fight back, to be afraid to vote. Sessions presented himself as a crusader against graft, frequently prosecuting Mobile officials, often Democrats, who were still dominant in the 1980s. However, the flimsy evidence for some of those prosecutions drew accusations that Sessions was motivated by politics. Shortly after Sessions was denied the federal judgeship, his office charged 2 African Americans who played a role in his confirmation hearings. One spent more than 5 years in prison but continues to deny any wrongdoing. I consider that, how dare you? You testified against me, said a lawyer who knew Sessions. In a case Sessions prosecuted, it was revealed that Sessions violated numerous statutes, including withholding evidence. The state dropped dozens of charges, citing prosecutorial misconduct. The judge dismissed the rest and wrote a brutal opinion, slamming Sessions' office. Stephen Gillers, a professor at New York University's School of Law, told the Senate Judiciary Committee in January that the opinion was the most scathing criticism of a prosecutorial office I have read in nearly 40 years I have been teaching legal ethics. Sessions stopped the government's push against the Texas voter ID law, signaled the administration's reluctance to vigorously enforce the Voting Rights Act. And he told a gathering of state attorney generals that he planned to increase the number of federal prosecutions for drug crimes. He runs his office like a powerful machine that grinds down people, said a liberal defense lawyer in Mobile. Sessions was quoted as saying, "If I were an attorney general, the first thing I'd do is see if I couldn't increase prosecutions by 50%. Now he has the chance to make his vision come true. As Attorney General, he has already begun to pull the department back from civil rights enforcement. In my opinion, this man should be muzzled, sedated, neutered, stripped of power, and placed in the same prison he has sent so many people who he illegally and unethically prosecuted." If my articles interest you, please use the link to check out my website and books. Thank you very much.